What a great movie. So Toy Story 5 just wrapped up, and if you walked out of the credits, you missed a lot. We're talking the actual ending of Jessie's story, the gut punch reveal buried under that tree, and not one but two credit scenes, including one that ends on a pretty wild Zurg cameo. So if you're wondering what the lunchbox actually meant, what happened to all those 50 Buzz Lightyears that we saw in the credit scene, or why the credits turned into a full-on musical number, we're gonna be talking about exactly that and a lot more in this video. So without further ado guys, let's just jump right into the post-credit scene of Toy Story 5. Let's go! Okay, so let's start explaining this post-credit scene with the actual end of the movie, because everything in the credits builds off of this. Toy Story 5 spends the whole runtime following Jessie, who's basically become the head toy of Bonnie's room, with Buzz Lightyear acting as her right hand. That balance gets thrown off the second Bonnie gets a new tablet character named Lilypad as a gift. Lilypad is engaging, it's responsive, and she slowly starts pulling Bonnie's attention away from the actual toys, which is the reason why this movie is toys versus tech. The conflict is driving the whole film. Worried about becoming irrelevant, the toys bring Woody back into the picture to help them fight for Bonnie's attention. But the real emotional core of the movie belongs to Jessie. But through a chain of events, she ends up back at her original childhood home, Emily's house, and that's where she finds it, a lunchbox, buried near the same tree she and Emily used to play under as kids. Inside are photos of an adult Emily with a daughter of her own. Here's why the moment hits so hard, and it's mainly because Jessie's entire arc goes all the way back to Toy Story 2, and it begins on the trauma of being left behind. She assumed that Emily simply outgrew her and moved on without a second thought, but that was not the case. But this lunchbox flips that completely. Emily didn't forget, she held into something. That photo is proof that the relationship mattered to her too, even after the toys were gone. And by the end of the film, things settle. Woody and Bo Beep head back out to their roaming life, finding homes for lost toys, picking up right where Toy Story 4 left them. It's quiet, it's bittersweet, and it closes Jessie's personal arc in a way that the franchise has genuinely never done before. So that's the movie itself. Now, where it gets interesting, because the credits aren't just credits this time, it's something a lot more than that. If you left the second the movie faded to black, this is what you missed. Remember the subplot involving the 50 high-tech Buzz Lightyear action figures? They get introduced at the very start of the film, stranded on a deserted island after their shipping container falls off a cargo ship. Through the movie, they eventually team up with Jessie, and along the way, the genuinely senior Buzz acts as a mentor to them, helping them realize the real purpose isn't conquering anything, but is to be played with. That entire arc pays off in the mid-credit scene, because we cut to a school playground and a bus pulls up. Kids pile out of the bus, and there is one boy in particular who, like Bonnie at the start of the movie, doesn't really like to have any friends. And this is when one of the high-tech Buzzies flies down from the sky in drone mode and lands right in his arms. Then it happens for every other kid on the playground. One by one, each kid ends up with their own Buzz. Even the teacher gets one, and yeah, he keeps it, of course. It's a genuinely sweet payoff. 50 toys who spent the whole movie lost and purposeless all find a kid of their own at the same exact time, and then right as that resolves, one of the kids pulls something else out of the backpack, a brand new high-tech Emperor Zurg toy, and then the movie cuts to black. Now, if you're newer to the franchise, that might just read as a fun little tag, but if you've been with Toy Story since the start, that Zurg cameo right there is doing a lot more work than it looks like. So let's actually talk about this. Zurg has one of the weirdest histories of any other character in this franchise, so let's go all the way back. Zurg was actually supposed to appear in the very first Toy Story movie. He got cut, but he's still mentioned by name. Buzz literally calls him the sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance. Back in 1995, he didn't actually show up on screen until Toy Story 2, where he's introduced first inside of a video game Rex is playing, then later as an actual toy that escapes his packaging and goes after Buzz for real. That's also where the franchise's most famous Zurg moment happens, the elevator showdown where Zurg tells the new Buzz the quote, "I am your father." It's a direct Star Wars parody, of course, of Darth Vader and all, and over the 2 decades, that line was just played as a joke, a funny toy aisle riff on Empire Strikes Back. Zurg then shows up again in Toy Story 3 in the credits, donated to Sunnyside Daycare, a much smaller cameo than this one, basically just a wink to longtime fans of the franchise, and he became the actual main villain of the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command animated series, where his backstory got expanded a lot more further than this. Then in 2022, the spin-off movie, Lightyear, which, in all honesty, everybody of us hated. It didn't represent Lightyear at all, but, you know, we have to put up with the fact that the movie actually came out and it was done by Pixar. But in Lightyear, they tried to retcon the whole thing. In that version, Zurg isn't Buzz's father at all. He's actually revealed to be an older, alternate timeline version of Buzz himself. More grounded, more sci-fi, and less of a joke. Toy Story 5 throws that out completely. The movie has the veteran Buzz reveal to the new high-tech Buzzes that Zurg is in fact their father, and they react with the same exact horrified scream as the Toy Story 2 scene. It's a deliberate choice to go back to the original toy box logic instead of the more serious Lightyear version. Basically, Pixar picked the joke over the lore. So by the time that Zurg toy shows up in the mid-credit scene, it's a confirmation that the franchise is doubling down on this bit on purpose, and it's setting up the same dynamic all over again with an entirely new generation of toys. Now, separate from the mid-credit scene, Toy Story 5 also does something that the franchise has never really done before. It turns its actual credits into an epilogue. Instead of one more animated scene, you get a series of hand-drawn still frames with title cards layered over the credits, set to Taylor Swift's original song for the film, I Knew It, and I Knew You. It plays almost like the photo montage from Up, quick glimpses of what happens to the characters right after the story ends. Bonnie and Blaze's friendship continuing, a new bond forming between their two families, even a small detail of Bo Peep filling in Woody's bald spot with a marker. Then, as the credits start to warp up entirely, the tone shifts again and gets genuinely fun. Bonnie's other toys, the ones who didn't get a ton of screen time in the main movie, like Rex, Trixie, Mr. Potato Head, Forky, Dolly, Mr. Pickle Pants, all start singing a version of a song from earlier in the film. Quick reminder of where the song actually comes from: earlier in the movie, Jessie confronts Lilypad directly, accusing her of never actually listening. Lilypad responds by playing back a recording of Jessie's own words, translating them and turning the whole thing into a rap called Trying to Make Friends. It's framed as kind of an insult in the moment, but by the credits, it's become the toys' favorite song. They're joined by Bad Bunny's character Pizza with sunglasses, and the whole thing ends with one last Mr. Potato Head's gag before the screen goes dark again for good. It's a small thing, but it matters. Characters like Rex and Mr. Potato Head barely get used in the actual movie, so this is really interesting that the franchise is giving them one last moment in the spotlight. So, does any of this actually point towards a Toy Story 6? Well, let's stick to what's actually being said, because there is a lot of noise out there, to be honest. First of all, the official stuff is this. As of right now, Toy Story 6 has not been greenlit by the studio at all. We know that Pixar is kind of like Rockstar Games in the sense they don't really share that much. Even if they want to do a sequel, they're not going to announce it anytime soon. We know this. No release date, no title, no announced plot has been released yet, of course. The movie just came out. That's the factual baseline, and anyone telling you otherwise is speculating. That's it. That said, there is real on-record material worth watching. The director of the movie has openly talked about the future of the franchise. He has said that with just a couple of months of brainstorming, he could see enough story material for 2 more Toy Story movies. At the Toy Story 5 premiere, he said this. He specifically framed the original trilogy as, quote, the Andy years, and described Bonnie's story as potentially following the same 3-movie structure, and meaning that Toy Story 5 might not be the end of it at all. But if Toy Story 6 were to happen, what would be the plot? Well, we're gonna leave that for another video because it gets really juicy, to be honest. And that's the post-credit scene of Toy Story 5 explained for you guys right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.